good with you? Back in black with another Enlisted video. If you guys are new to the channel and you love shooting games just like me, make sure you aim for that like button and shoot that subscribe button as well. It'll help you find better teammates and improve your skill-based matchmaking. Today, what I have for you guys is a prime example of what happens when you only have one or maybe even two people on your team who build rally points. And the reason that I'm even presenting this video to you guys is just to drive home the importance of how important it is for more than one or two people to build rally points on your team, especially when you're playing against a team that is competent. And all that being said, essentially what you guys are about to watch is the end result of somebody who is pretty much trying to carry or backpack a team by itself. And yes, all that being said, again, I do lose this game, but it is still a very good and entertaining game. I had fun playing it. It's just, it was like kind of like putting a shit cherry on top of a cake, because I did all this hard work and I had so many kills and I had so many engineering points, but we still lost the game due to the simple fact that I was the only one trying to do anything effectively, for lack of better words. And it could be that the people on my team maybe didn't have engineers unlocked, but I find that hard to believe considering the fact that I saw somebody put a rally point up at the beginning of the game. And if I'm not mistaken, I think AI have the ability to build them too. So I do not understand why this game went the way it went, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and get into it. And we're on the second point. At this point, you already saw how the first point went. We took that kind of easily, and at that point I kind of thought the game was going to be cake and we were going to run through this team, but they just kind of like knuckled up at the Mesquite Forestry, the actual factory, for lack of better words. And it led me to believe that this might be one of the hardest points to capture in the game, especially if you're essentially playing by yourself, for lack of better words. Not that I was, but it kind of felt like it considering how my team was performing. And I thought it was such general knowledge that you should build rally points as much as possible, especially on what's the word I want to use, like opposite sides of somebody who already built a rally point on the other side. So let's say I had one up on the left flank, I would need somebody to go and build that on the right side so we could attack from multiple angles. But unfortunately, we did not get that kind of luxury, even though it seems like I'm kind of dominating considering how crazy and how much of a frenzy I'm going on right here. And there were certain points where I thought my team wasn't doing half bad, but all in all, it kind of just falls back on the simple fact that we did not build rally points. And as an attacking team, especially with a lot of distance between the first point and the second point, like literally, especially on this map in particular, you have to cross an entire river just to get to the factory. So it's like, should it not occur to you once you actually get across that river, and we all know how slow it is moving through water in this game, I would have thought like, oh, I got to the other side, I should definitely get a rally point up so I don't have to go across the river again and possibly get sniped from the factory. But alas, it seems I was the only one who had this idea to even build a rally point to begin with. So it was just crazy to me, especially seeing somebody have a rally point up on the first point and then not seeing them do anything after that, like the literal entire rest of the game. Nobody put up not one rally point or ammo box. And I think you'll see that at the end screen when they show all the scores and whatnot. But it's just like, wow, bro, I was so disappointed in my team this game, and here I was thinking I was about to go off and get a W at the same time. And I don't know if it's just me as well, but like it is weird. It's like whenever I get an absurd amount of kills or I just go off and have like one of the best games ever, I always seem to have a team dragging me down. And I know there's not like a team balancer in this game. Essentially, when you queue up, it's 100% random, and this is pre-update. Obviously, essentially in the future they're going to have it to where like they kind of match you up based on the weaponry and equipment that you have for your all your squads, if that makes any sense. So I'm thinking when the update actually does go live, I'll probably never have to deal with this again, unless it's just like circumstantial that I get on a team that has a bunch of people with high amounts of not high amounts, I guess high graded equipment, like fully automatic machine guns and STGs and stuff like that. So you would think if they have all that stuff, they would know right off the bat just to build rally points as soon as they can and from different angles and whatnot. But you will see all my team is a bunch of like privates and corporals and stuff like that. So again, I think that may be contributing as to why we lost, but at the same time, if somebody built a rally point earlier, why would you stop? Like, why would you not pick your engineer squad for the entire rest of the game? It's just crazy to me. So, and I know it kind of sounds like I'm complaining, but I'm not. I'm really trying to use this as like an educational like showcase of like, this is literally what will happen if you do not build rally points, and you can't even do it alone. I mean, 9 times out of 10 or 99% of the time, I know you guys hear this a lot too, I play solo, and it's not like I don't have friends or I can't make friends or find people to play with, but I feel like the true measure of skill is what you can do by yourself. And if I were to stack up with like teammates, yeah, I would be able to tell them, like, hey, build some rally points, whatever the case may be. But like, I just thought maybe the game doesn't do a good enough job of driving home how important engineers are, because it didn't occur to me that engineers were the best type of class in the game, maybe until like a few months into me actually playing. Sometimes I'll even have multiple engineer squads just to, you know, constantly have the ability to build what is most useful at that certain point in time, whether that be a rally point, some ammo, or, you know, anti-aircraft gun, whatever the case may be. Anti-tank guns are also super neato, especially during that engineer event that was just happening like a couple of days ago. And I guess you guys can see here as well, I got the 2 little wrenches, so you know I was over there building stuff and blowing stuff up with my engineers. Best, like I said, best class in the game by far. And again, I say this to drive home how important it is that you have at least one engineer squad. And if you don't, maybe you should put 1 or 2 engineers in all of your squads just to compensate, because the very least that you can do as a player is build some rally points. And yeah, man, I just think it's kind of crazy for me to have games like this where I'm just going off and going crazy, and just to be held down or dragged back by the incompetence of my team, who doesn't understand the simple premise of not having to run across these fat ass maps, and like how important it is to build rally points to cut down how often you can how long it takes for you to get on the objective and attack and make some progression. And you'll see right now we only have what, 200, 300 lives left, and I'm still over here like, oh yeah, thanks guys, you finally made a big push and we finally caught the objective, thanks for that. It seems like I was fighting the entire German army by myself for the most part up until then. And it kind of seems that way still, because even in the desperation mode that we are in with sub 300 lives left, I am still the only one who has the, you know, recollection to know that I should run up and probably put a rally point somewhere. Otherwise, we're not going to have a chance at winning the game at all. So again, I just, it blows me. It really does blow me sometime. But I guess it kind of makes up for it in the simple fact that I got a lot of kills and I got a lot of experience. I run out of here, it's instant Germans. It's like my team isn't even pushing up, it feels like, except for this one guy who has his squad sitting in the same house as me for one reason or another. Instead of getting his own engineer squad, going on the other side that I am not on, and making his own rally point so we can collapse on the enemy and encircle them, kind of like they do in real life. Like, I actually have some strategy and some thought process behind this. It's not just like, oh, rush as hard as you can. It's like, especially if you see something isn't working, all those times that we were trying to get into the Maysky forestry from like one side only, again, I just logically, it would make sense for somebody else to think like, this isn't working, maybe we should attack from the other side. But no, I don't get any of that. I kind of just it just makes me feel like everybody on my team is a bot, and not in the figurative sense. Like literally, I thought like my entire team was a bunch of bots, but I'm pretty sure if I pull up the scoreboard, which I can't, we'll see at the end of the game, I had a decent amount of players, if not like at least over half of the team was like actual players. So you see me over here trying my damnedest, and it's to no avail. And yeah, look, I got like at least 4 players, at least 5. And if I'm not mistaken, this is like what, 10 on 10 or whatever the case may be. I don't even know, but at least it's just like, man, what's going on, bro? Like, look at the map. The blue dots are so spread out, and that would be a good thing if they were actually advancing towards the objective. But it seems like they're using the base spawn all the way at the back of the factory that we just came from, which is again making them cover so much ground just to get near the objective. And we don't have that kind of luxury when we're already at, what are we at right now, 137 lives. It's just, it's crazy, bro. Like, there's no thought process, there's no strategy, and it's like, how can you call yourself a fan of World War II shooters or just shooting games in general if that's your approach? I mean, yeah, this is a more casual game in comparison to things like Hell Let Loose or, you know, any other World War II shooters that you can think of. I mean, Call of Duty, when they were making World War II shooters, that was pretty casual too, but like, this game has a whole premise of like, kind of like brothers in arms and like commanding squads around and thinking about what you do before you do it and implementing lots of strategy, which I don't see any of that from any of my teammates beside myself. And it's like, they have the, I guess they had the ability to do so, because again, I saw that rally point at the beginning of the game. I don't know what happened. I don't know why you stopped building it, and I know there was an update before, like I said, where they said engineers had the ability to make their own rally points even if they're computers. Did they like take that out? Because I didn't, maybe that's what I saw at the beginning of the game, but I did not see it for the entire rest of the game. And I am dumbfounded. I am flabbergasted. I am kerfuffled as to why we could not get any more, like, why I could not get any more help from my team to help us win this game, which was easily winnable considering the amount of support that I was doing with my kills in my own building using engineers. But what can you do? I just wanted to show you guys this gameplay and show you why it's so important to have more than one person building rally points, and just what happens when you have a bad team in general. You can be the best player in the world, you still probably lose. But neither here nor there. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. I do appreciate you guys for watching. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Don't forget to aim for that like button, shoot that subscribe button as well, and I'll catch you in the next one. Black Guy out.